So today I'm going to talk about math, and I think a lot of homeschoolers have the same fear of math that I have, like how can I teach math? So for our math curriculum choice, I really wanted something that was open and go and that told me everything I needed to say and exactly what I needed to do to teach it, so I didn't actually have to know the math that I was teaching. But what I've learned, my daughter's only in first grade, is that I am learning, like relearning math along with her, which is great. So I want to share with you guys today what math curriculum we have chosen and just give you a short review and how we use it. So we actually use Right Start Math, and we started this year in first grade with level B. I think it says 9, level B. And we didn't start with A, so I think that if I had to do it over again, we would have started with A in kindergarten and then progressed with that. I love Right Start because, number one, it is super fun. It is the most fun math. My daughter loves math. It is one of her favorite subjects. I hated math, so to me that is just delightful that she loves it so much. But it's hands-on. It's really fun. There's tons of manipulatives, so even like when we got it in the mail, I was very excited because of all the cool stuff that it came with. And it's easy to teach. It's really easy to teach. And all I do is I pull out each day everything that she needs, and I put it in her workbox drawer. I just pulled out the whole workbox drawer to show you for the video. But each day, let's see, what lesson are we on? 92? Okay. So each day, I open it up to the lesson that we're on, and it tells me right at the top what materials I'm going to need. So this one says, I think, let's see, 6 tiles of one color. So I put in her workbox 6 tiles of one color and 4 of another. So I've got that in there. And it says paper for practice. So she actually has a math notebook that she keeps. And so anytime it asks for paper, I will pull that out and put that in there. And then it says we're going to need worksheet 42. And this is the worksheet book that the curriculum came with. And I will just open it up to worksheet 42 and have that in there. And she's already done it. Okay, so it'll say worksheet 42. And then it goes through your activities. And then you just start, usually it'll have like a warm-up. Does this seem part of the warm-up? Sorry, I just wanted to see if there was a better example of the warm-up. Okay, so most lessons will have an actual warm-up section where it'll just kind of, you'll verbally go over things that you've learned over that you're working on. So it might say, like this one said, ask the child which number comes next, and you say 200 and then 300 and then 400, and they have to see that you're counting by hundreds, and then they say 500, and then you might say like 5, 10, 15, and then they would say 20. It's just kind of like simple, very quick warm-up. So the warm-up takes us about 2 minutes usually. And then the activities. And the activities will vary in length and how long it takes, but they usually take us about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll spend another 10 minutes going over and playing games to reinforce things. That's one of the things I love about this curriculum is there's not a lot of like flashcards and just memorization. It's fun and it's games and it's hands-on learning, so I really like that. So for today's lesson, it was about greater than and less than symbols. So we did a lot of just hands-on activities using the tiles and showing which groups were greater than and which groups were less than, and then we would have to write in the symbols. And then at the end, this one did have a worksheet. You don't do a worksheet with every lesson. A lot of times you will play games. It'll say within your remaining time, play this game, or give you a suggestion of a card game to play. And all the card games do come with the curriculum, so everything is included, and the instructions for all the games are with the curriculum. So now I want to show you some of the fun stuff that came with it. So this is the AL Abacus, and this is kind of like the major thing with this curriculum, so that you can visualize and see everything. It starts out in A learning how to just recognize groups without counting. So you start to visualize groups of items, like you would put 3 pencils down and the child will say that there's 3 there, but they don't actually have to count them. And then it goes up and it gets higher numbers. And as you can see here, there's 5 of the blue beads and 5 of the yellow beads. So when you put 5 and 5 together, that's 10. So you can visually see right away that that's 10 without having to count out 10. Or you can visually see here that 5 and 2, and that's 7 without having to count out. So the AL Abacus is very important, and it's one of the cornerstones of this curriculum. And I really like it. It makes everything visual and also hands-on. Everything that you do, visualize it, and then hands-on, and then you reinforce it through games. So this is a super fun curriculum. And I think that it would be great for any learning style just because it does use so many different techniques to teach each thing. All right, so then I'm just gonna show you some of the other stuff. So these are the tiles that we use for a lot of different things. These are really fun. This is the wooden cubes. My daughter sometimes will use this for math, and sometimes she uses it to make castles and knock down. So whenever she gets bored of doing math, she'll just take these out and start playing with them. These are fun too. And then we have the geoboards, which happens to be a favorite of my 1-year-old, and rubber bands, of course, to go with the geoboards. And then tally sticks, which are just your regular popsicle sticks. These are used also in visualizing numbers in different ways. This is kind of neat. This will mirror images, so you can see like symmetry and shapes, and it's used a lot for geometry. Of course, there's a clock. Every good math curriculum needs a clock. And then, let's see. Then this is my basket of all of the card games. Now this looks like a big basket of flashcards, but this is not flashcards at all. There's no flashcards in here, actually, none. All of these are for different games. So the envelopes, I really love these because this will give you, like, each envelope is, basically this one will start with 3 and each card in here goes up by 3, so it's counting by 3s. So even though we're not doing multiplication in 1st grade, when she gets to multiplication, she is going to know the multiples of 3. She is going to know the multiples of 4. So multiplication is going to just click super quick and easy. So that's one of the things that I like about this too, is that kids kind of don't realize what they're learning. And then when they actually do get to learning that specific topic, they've already played it and they've already understand the math behind it, and it's so easy. But we have our fraction card deck. We have just a numbers deck. This is used for all kinds of games. This will just have all your numbers, 0 through 10. Another number deck. Sometimes you need 2 decks, so there's 2 of those. What are these for? Oh, these are the, like, for the ones, the tens, and the hundreds, place value cubes. This one is used for the corners game. That's a really fun game that my daughter plays almost every day. Here is our clock card deck, also used for some games. Now these are just things that were actually in the back of the book that it had you make. Either you could use it yourself and cut it out, or I just made copies of it and cut it out. And then this is used more in the beginning. So like if you hold up your fingers, how many is this? And without counting, and it goes all the way through. Money card deck. We haven't actually started this yet. I did see that there's some lessons coming up about money. My daughter is pretty advanced when it comes to learning about money, because she learned early on that she wanted to buy 2 Shopkins, and they both cost $3 each, so she needed $6. And then she started to learn about tax and everything because she was adding up how much she needed for everything. So she likes to know about money. Okay, what else? Let's see. This was just, I can't remember exactly what we used this for, but I kept it because I thought it was a neat representation, and you could use it for teaching fractions. Here's some more clock game manipulatives. These are the place values, so they have thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones in here, and we use these a lot. And what I like about these is they're not flimsy. I mean, they're like, I don't know if you can see, but they're a nice, thick, like sturdy plastic. And I'm glad, because we use these a lot and they need to be sturdy. And I also plan on using this with, I'm on my first child homeschooling, but I have 3. And I plan on using this with all 3 of them, so this stuff needs to stand up. These are the AL Abacus tiles, and honestly, I know that there are plenty of lessons that tell me to get these out, and I rarely ever do. It's just basically saying like, okay, there's 100 beads on this abacus, and if I put 2 more abacuses out here, how many would I have? And you put these to represent, since we don't have more than one AL abacus. Haven't used those a whole lot. Don't think those came with my kit. Okay, this is stuff I made for my son, who is in pre-K. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much everything it comes with. There is a few more things that I don't have with me right now, because we just moved our schoolroom from our work, where we own our own business, and we were just doing school there, and we're not there as much now, so we moved it to our house again. We kind of change every year depending on our schedule. This year I think it's going to be better to do it at home, so we just moved it. But the other thing that is really cool that I do not have to show you is, I had a picture of it. Well, it's the math balance. I'll show you on here. It's a really big, it's about this big, long yellow plastic and with a red base. And it looks like this. And then it has these blue tabs that you can hang on each side. And each side goes from 1 to 10, and then again on 1 to 10. So if you hang 1 on 10 and you hang 1 on 10 over here, then it will equal out. Or you can hang 1 on 10 and you can put 2 on 5, or any number that will add up to 10, and the sides will balance. So that's just another way for kids to visually see that numbers equal each other. It's very fun. All right, and so if you're interested in this curriculum, I would suggest going and reading online about how it was developed, why it teaches the way it does. It's hands-on and it's fun, but it does have a different method of teaching than your traditional math. It teaches the understanding behind math versus the memorization. So when I first started, I did feel a little bit like, oh, my daughter's not probably learning all the addition facts that she should by heart yet. And sometimes it felt like she was getting a little bit behind in just the memorization parts of math, although she was very, very good at math and really advanced as far as her understanding of the math behind every problem. And then it started to click. And when it starts to click, I mean, she can do math in her head faster than I can. That's all I want to say about that. And like I said before, I've never really been that great at math, and I am horrible at mental math. And this program teaches mental math. And it teaches strategies for mental math, not just memorizing everything. It teaches strategies, and it's amazing. I love it because of that. And she loves math, and she is very advanced in math at this point. She can add, subtract, multiply, and divide, even though she doesn't know she's technically multiplying and dividing in her head quicker than I can. She knows everything about time, money. We're learning, let's see, we are touched on things like parallelograms and some geometry terms, and she hasn't fully learned those yet, but she's been introduced to those topics, and I think that, oh, get out of here, bug, that next year we're going to be going to C. I've loved it so much. My son will be starting pre-K, as I mentioned earlier, and he is going to start out with A in pre-K. And the reason I decided to do that is because A starts out with learning like how to visualize groups of numbers, and it just starts out at the very beginning, and that's where he's at. Like, he already knows all his numbers, but he doesn't really know too much about adding and subtracting other than if he actually has the physical representations, and I think that's what A will do for him. So I'm really excited to start A with him, and we're just going to go at his own pace and let him go really slow if he wants and do one lesson a week or one lesson a day or however fast or slow he wants to go. So if we're still doing A in kindergarten, that's fine, but I think he's ready to start it in pre-K. He'll be 4, so. And then my daughter, she's going to move on to B. I'm sorry, C. We're on B right now. She's going to move on to C. She loves it, so definitely no complaints there. And we're just going to keep doing it until it doesn't work anymore, because it works really well right now. I've thought about trying a couple of other math programs, but I just love this one too much. I can't switch. And I guess that's a good problem to have. There's just so many great math curriculums out there for homeschoolers now. I can't even imagine what it was like before all this stuff was out here and you actually had to figure out how to teach math on your own. So we're really lucky. And I know teaching textbooks sounds amazing just because, you know, having someone else teach it, but this makes it so easy for me. And like I was saying before, it tells you everything that you even need to say, and I love that about it. The only thing I don't love about it is my book, and I'm very careful with my book. My kids don't touch this. This is the teacher's manual, so they don't really mess with this, and it still has come off, and I had to safety pin it on for now. I guess I'm gonna have to do something with it. I've got 2 more kids to go through with this, so. But it tells you everything to say. I'm just gonna give you an example. It'll say, for grader lessons, it says, place the 6 blue tiles in a group and the 4 yellow tiles in another group. Then ask the child which group has the greater number of tiles, blue, and that's in parentheses, like that's the answer, blue. And it'll say, and which group has the lesser number of tiles, yellow. If necessary, remind him that greater means more. Ask for the opposite of greater, which is less, and then ask for the opposite of less. Tell him that in mathematics, we say 6 is greater than 4, and it'll actually put in quotations what you're supposed to say. It puts in brackets what the answer is. I mean, it makes it super easy. Sorry. Which is great for me. So, I don't know. If you have any questions about Right Start, let me know. I don't know if I did a really good job of explaining it. Like I said, go on the website and read about it. Read about the program and why it was developed, and you know why it was developed the way it was. And I think it's a great program. So, if you have any questions, let me know. And I think I will probably do a video next on our language arts curriculum because I love it too. So let me know if you have any questions, and it was good to talk to all you guys. Bye!